That's right. You know, I've stirred up the hornet's nest, and I understand there's a few wrestlers out there that are a little upset with Sgt. Slaughter.
Back in the winter of 1982, U.S. champion Sgt. Slaughter made a lot of enemies. But that did not stop him from continuing to talk his smack about everyone.
Ric Flair is coming back. Wahoo McDaniels is coming back. Ricky Steamboat wants Sgt. Slaughter. Jake the Snake Roberts wants Sgt. Slaughter. Well, let me tell you, wrestlers, Sgt. Slaughter's here, and he was here when you left, and he'll be here when you're on your way out again. So I'll be waiting to hear from you.
Slaughter is prepping himself to face the NWA World Champion Ric Flair after he whipped Flair in the face with his army belt in the winter.
Because you see what's been happening is these guys have been coming on people, doing things to people. You got Slaughter with his two goofs, the two privates, Kernodle and Nelson. Speak of the devil, there he is right now. I'll tell you something. One of these days we're going to make a mistake. And that mistake is this. He's going to keep putting those guys in there, and they're going to have to face somebody that really means something. I'm talking about the hometown boy, Ric Flair. That's right. Flair's going to put the title aside, Slaughter. He's putting the title aside, and he's coming back to Charlotte because that's his home. The Queen City's always been his home. And he's going to take care of some serious business.
Jake Roberts is becoming the latest babyface to step up and try to stop Slaughter. But Roberts would pay for that.
Just a little more to knock off their feet now. Yes, big difference. Now you're catching on.
That Sgt. Slaughter is a big man, and it takes a tremendous...
During a match with David Patterson, Privates Kernodle and Nelson attack Roberts, and Slaughter does too.
Himself only. Here, look, what the...
Oh, and here comes the Privates. Sgt. Slaughter's Privates. Now what are they doing? Here's Slaughter. What are they all doing in there? They shouldn't even be in there. Slaughter's in the ring. The Privates are in the ring. Kernodle, Nelson, they're stomping and they're kicking away now. Here comes Johnny Weaver. Here comes Ray Stevens. Here comes Blackjack Mulligan Jr.
Faces Ray Stevens, Johnny Weaver, and Blackjack Mulligan Jr. make the save. Slaughter was fined for the attack on Jake Roberts.
Also have a situation here with Sgt. Slaughter jumping into a match with Jake Roberts last week, and he's going to be fined $500.
Boy, that's going to hurt him right in the pocketbook, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And, you know, some of these guys think that they can go out and ride the NWA. Well, they're not going to do it.
Well, Tandy, I tell you, once before you had to come in and bring a little law and order back, and I think it's time for that to happen again.
Well, we're going to put these guys in their place one way or another, fine them, suspend them, and they better understand it right now.
Elsewhere in Mid-Atlantic, Austin Idol has started filming wrestling matches at ringside to scout and to get an advantage up on the competition.
Fans right here, Austin Idol, still with that camera. Austin, we're still getting a lot of comments about
Sure, you're
that.
getting a lot of comments, and I'll bet you a lot of the comments you're getting are from the wrestlers in this area. True or false? Sure, it's true. And I know one wrestler in particular I'm talking about who's commenting a great deal about this camera, who's commenting a great deal about Austin Idol, saying, why is Austin Idol at ringside? He's not allowed to. There's no reason he should be there. It's not legal. When it is legal, I'm within my rights, and I'm talking about Rick Steamboat. And I'm talking this Steamboat. I've got it all right here, Jackson, on this Canon, 8mm right here. And believe you me, this is what's going to cost you defeat at the hands of the Idol.
And Roberts now, down off of the apron of the ring, having a few words right here with Austin Idol. It looks like Roberts is getting a little upset about Idol in here taking the move.
Well, he didn't like him behind him there, and I don't blame him.
I'm going to tell you what, there's another person who was out here that almost interfered with the match. It's that Austin Idol. He was right there. A couple of times I had to stop what I was doing because he was halfway in the ring almost.
Ivan Koloff and Jimmy Valiant have been feuding over the TV title all of 1982 so far, but it would take a more personal turn when Koloff would set Valiant up.
We're about ready now in the ring. More action. Koloff into the ring, and there's Valiant. Valiant caught him coming in. There was Gene Anderson. Valiant throws in Ninja. That was Ninja who just blew something all over Jimmy Valiant, Sandy Scott. Valiant down, Koloff kicking him. Here's Gene Anderson kicking him. Here comes Mulligan Jr. Here comes Jake Roberts. Anderson goes out, Koloff goes out.
Of course, Goody Two Shoes Jake Roberts doesn't like this.
Things have got kind of hot and heavy today. It's not usually like this. The thing with Valiant's what really got me, folks. I mean, that stuff in his eyes, they had to get him somewhere to get that cleaned up because he's just all messed up. I hope the guy's going to be all right.
Bob, here's the tape again with Valiant right here.
All right.
But what happened with Valiant? You see him in there with 3 different people.
Yeah.
Jake, right here.
Let's see what Ninja did do.
Right here.
It all happened so fast earlier, and there it is. He blew some green something right out all over. It hit him right in the face, right in the. It was full in the face,
Right in the eye.
and he goes right down at that point.
See what kind of wrestler Koloff is? Now he's on top of him right there. That's a little bit too much, I think. I think the NWA and possibly Sandy can do things, something about things like this. There's no need for it. When it comes to putting people out like that, with the eyes, it's just too much. There's got to be a line drawn somewhere because obviously a man's got to have his eyes. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm sick about it. I don't know.
I know what it has to do, baby, when you go through life blinded in one eye. My own daddy, he lost his eye in a street fight in New York City when he was 17 years old. I declare war. Anything goes, Ivan Koloff.
A terrible thing you did to Jimmy Valiant. You heard Valiant. It's war. It's war.
Terrible. What are you talking about? I feel good. I feel great. I knew he'd fall into my trap when I jumped into the ring. I knew he'd follow me in there. And who was there? Gene Anderson and Ninja. Yes, he fell into our trap. And they made my heart feel good too, Valiant, to see that chemical fly into your eye. I understand you can't see out of one of your eyes now. Our intention was to make you blind in both eyes so you couldn't see. Yes, you say war. It was war with Koloff when you first came in to this area and you tried to attack me. You come out time and time again and try to sneak attack Koloff from behind on television. Well, you didn't get away with it. Now I've got my way. I've got my belt still also, Valiant. And it's all over for you. You say war, I'm ready for you.
But the bigger deal to Roberts and Blackjack Mulligan Jr. continues to be Slaughter.
Slaughter, it's only just begun, brother. You want to know how long you can keep on doing the things that you've been doing? Till somebody stops you, because Sandy Scott, I appreciate it, Sandy, but you can't do it with $500. That's not going to stop him from doing anything.
But Blackjack Mulligan Jr. would soon be leaving Mid-Atlantic to go to Florida, where he would become Barry Windham.
Tremendous elbow as Anthony comes off of the ropes.
I have those boys running into brick walls every day.
Watch this. Right here, he's going to hold him up for that clothesline off that top rope. Vicious blow right there.
I'll be up there raising their hand, I think, after that one.
After Slaughter's Privates defeat Mike George and Tony Anthony, Nelson, Kernodle, and Slaughter triple team Mike George to send him a message.
Off of the top rope with that clothesline.
Coming down with all his weight.
And here is Slaughter and George going at it. Now all 3 of them are after George. Kernodle and Nelson are holding him, and Slaughter looked like he took a buckle off or something off of his belt. And he just pounds away now at Mike George. Here comes Jake Roberts. Roberts got Slaughter. He's got him down on the mat, just choking him.
Jake Roberts makes the save.
All right, and Jake Roberts,
That's one time they didn't get away, now is it?
That's right. And
We're going to start handling the things the same way Slaughter does. He wants to stick his nose in somebody's match. Well, by gosh, that's what we're going to start doing. We'll stick our nose anytime the things don't look just kosher to us.
All right, Jack.
Slaughter, you're in trouble.
On house shows, when Jake Roberts would take on Slaughter for the US title, it would end with a DQ win for Roberts or a loss. But if it was a non-title match, Roberts would defeat Slaughter.
Bring me back to the Carolinas as fast as you can put Ric Flair in an airplane. Take the World Championship and put it on a shelf. Because I want Ole Anderson, and I want Slaughter, and I want Piper, and I want Gene Anderson, and I want Ninja. I want all of them.
Ric Flair is back in Mid-Atlantic in the spring to get revenge.
Brother, you ain't my brother.
There's another tremendous blow across the chest now of Ron Ritchie. He may be setting him up right here for the Cobra Clutch. Hard right hand. Ritchie Slaughter's in the rope, trying to fight his way out of it. Those blows that Slaughter are landing are just, fans, I can't tell you how powerful they are. I don't see what's holding Richie up. Look at Slaughter. He just...
If him and Anderson were to take up, they have something to offer. I love it! I love it! Look at that! Boy, did he set him up perfect for that.
And here's a perfect punch.
There it is! Richie, go for the ropes. That's the only way out right now. Go for the ropes.
There's no way he can get to the ropes from there.
I can see. Is that Ric Flair in there?
Oh, it's Ron Ritchie, and Ron Ritchie
One.
is going to be out
There's
right
a one.
here. Referee
There's
Stu
a
Schwartz checking
one
him.
and the two and the three.
After
There
that
you go.
tremendous, I gotta say to you, what if that had been Ric Flair up there, Sergeant Slaughter?
He'd still be on the mat if that was Ric Flair. I took it easy on this kid here, this punk. You know, I've been getting Ric Flairs. I've been getting Ricky Steamboats, Jake Roberts. I've had him up to here, especially Wahoo McDaniels. But Ric Flair, you want to come out here and say that you're really upset that I took advantage of you and I whipped you like a dog with my cartridge belt. It's just your luck.
I think
Your luck that Ricky Steamboat came in to help you. There won't be any Ricky Steamboat this time. Now, what I want to talk about is the World Heavyweight Championship. You know, when I came into this area, I told you that I would win the U.S. Heavyweight Championship, and I did it. Then I told you that I would run Wahoo McDaniels out of town, and I did that. And then I said I would run Ricky Steamboat out of town, and I've done that. He was scared of the guillotine. He was scared of the Cobra Clutch. And right now, I'm telling you right now that Ric Flair, your number's up. I'm gonna run you out of town. I'm gonna take your title, and it's just a few weeks away.
Slaughter has newspaper proof that he has beat Ric Flair in the past.
I do whatever I want to do in that ring. I tell you I'm going to hurt somebody, and I do it. I'm telling you right now, Ric Flair, I have beaten you. I beat you right in the middle of the ring, and right here, Monday's paper. What does that say right there?
Slaughter pins Flair.
That's right, Slaughter pins Flair, and I'm going to do it again. Flair, I've beaten you once, and I'm going to do it again.
With the NWA World Championship on the line, Flair would defeat Slaughter by DQ after interference from Privates Nelson and Kernodle. Jake Roberts and Ric Flair would defeat Slaughter and Nelson in a tag match on the house show circuit. Wahoo McDaniels returned to the territory as being hyped.
Fans right now at ringside, Paul Jones. Paul, a former partner of yours, you were world champions, world tag team champions with Wahoo McDaniel.
Well, that's right. You know, Wahoo's coming back, and Wahoo coming back in areas. Wahoo and I have already lined up some matches, tag matches for myself.
Slaughter wants more help of his own and says he has Angelo Mosca, who would come to Mid-Atlantic as King Kong Mosca.
Month after month since I've been here, everybody's been coming out and challenging Sergeant Slaughter. And I've met all the challenges, and I must say that I beat them all. In fact, I run most of them out of town. But now I'm out here to challenge. I'm out here to put my belt up, the U.S. Heavyweight Championship, against Jack Brisco, or Wahoo McDaniels if he ever gets back to town, or anybody that I choose to come out here and challenge me. I'll accept the challenge. I'm getting sick and tired of everybody saying that I don't defend this belt. And there's another fellow coming in by the name of Don Morocco, which I heard he's a great wrestler. I'll challenge him. I'll challenge them all. But also, we have someone on our side coming in by the name of Angelo King Kong Mosca. That's right, he'll be here shortly, and he's going to help me get rid of all of these wrestlers.
King Kong Mosca in person, Roddy Piper.
You see, and that's the, they didn't ask him his name and say, my name's King Kong. He earned that. Look at the way, look at the viciousness in this man. The power in his cutting hands, just making fence
No
moves.
reason for it. No reason. He should go for the pin.
He's taking fence moves. That's what he's doing. Beautiful. Oh, yes. What a right cross.
Again, he's got him 1, 2, and
Oh.
this time for the count of 3.
I've got a partner that's going to help me get rid of a lot of wrestlers around here. You just saw what he did to Vinny Valentino. King Kong Mosca and I are teamed up in quite a few of the areas. You can see it right there. That's why they call him King Kong. Flair, Wahoo McDaniels, Jake Roberts, Mulligan Jr., all of you guys.
My name is King Kong Mosca because of my power. I walk, I talk, and I do exactly what I want to do. Got one of the most devastating elbows in professional wrestling today. So beware, all you valiants. all you wahoos.
Jake Roberts would tag up with Wahoo against Slaughter and Mosca at many house shows. Privates Nelson and Kernodle would make Slaughter proud when they won the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championships from Iceman Parsons and Porkchop Cash.
That's right. Private Kernodle and myself were the new Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champions, thanks to Sgt Slaughter. You know, when I was started wrestling, I always wanted to be a champion. I always wanted to be a winner and make a lot of money. And I heard of Sgt Slaughter. And I went to him and I said, Sgt Slaughter, I want to be a champion. I want to be a winner. He says, are you willing to pay the price? Then come on over to my camp. I'll make you a winner. So that's exactly what I've done. I've done my best, and he's made me a champion. Now, Private Kernodle and myself are going to be defending these belts. If we can find someone good enough to take us on for these belts.
Terry Taylor and Kelly Kiniski tag up against Nelson and Kernodle in a match that would go to double DQ.
That's right, Ray. You're right.
He's not going to be any easy pushover for anybody.
Just like Dean Anderson. Boy, Kernodle and Terry Taylor really got into it there. We got Nelson back in the ring here.
That's right. And John, they had him in the corner. Out of the ring. Taylor and Kernodle now, and Taylor are going at it.
Kernodle and Taylor really going at it. They're scratching eyes and pulling hair. And
the referee says ring the bell. That's what he is.
I heard Kernodle make the statement that he was going to get Taylor just a little bit earlier, and it looks like he's really trying to.
Well, Ray, it sure looked like that's exactly what they were trying to do.
Terry Taylor would keep getting tag shots at the champions with different partners. In one match, where Taylor is tagging up with Tony Anthony, Anthony would get injured, and Jake Roberts would come out to try to take his place.
He can itch and scratch all he wants to, but
now he's gonna make it.
That boy's hurt.
Tony Anthony went right through the ropes off of the apron, down hard on the concrete floor.
What a
Look at Terry Taylor.
That boy's hurt. Taylor's hurt. Anthony's hurt.
Tony Anthony down on the floor. He is hurt. He hit that concrete floor hard. It doesn't matter to Terry Taylor. He's going to take them both on.
Elbow! What's this? What's this? There's no business. Snake Roberts is down here. Look at Mr.
Double teamed right now. Here's Kernodle and Nelson both working on Taylor as they've got him in the corner. Jake Roberts comes in.
Snake Roberts has no business here.
Well,
you can't tag that.
Taylor went over to make a tag to Roberts.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Here's Jake Roberts in.
He's got no business in there.
Oh, here comes Sgt Slaughter and a knee lift. He ran right into that knee lift.
Ring that bell.
And the referee says ring the bell. Let's stop this. He's lost all control.
Let's get some order.
Terry Taylor, Jake Roberts.
Jake Roberts and Terry Taylor would win a non-title match against the Privates at a house show. As for Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion Roddy Piper, as if getting under Bob Armstrong's skin in Georgia was not good enough, he is now working on getting under Jack Brisco's skin in Mid-Atlantic.
Roddy Piper right here, fan.
Mr. Brisco, may I shake your hand, because truly you are a man of many, many talents. You're a tremendous wrestler, and Bob, I wanted to take this opportunity from a wrestler's point of view to ask a few questions, such as, Mr. Brisco, when you're fighting people such as myself, for instance, if you were to have to fight me, how do you feel about going in the ring against somebody 27 years old, in their prime, obviously has done so much for wrestling and is wrestling today? How do you feel about someone like that?
I would feel very honored about it, because the reason that I am here is to try to win the Mid-Atlantic Championship, and of course that is the very belt that you hold. So I would quite be honored to get in the ring with you at any time, because I am here for competition.
Yes.
I'm here to win championships. My brother and I are going after the World Tag Team Championship, and I'm after your championship.
Yes, I know what you mean, and I can understand you being honored, because after all, just standing next to me, I can understand would be an honor, being the champion that I am. But with some of the holds I have, Mr. Bill, for instance, my sleeper and my speed, it would be very difficult, and you must admit, for all the other wrestlers that wrestle me, they can't seem to get around it, and yourself, is there a little, am I saying envious? Are you envious of me, or am I saying, because you've been saying, like you want to win this title and you want to win that title, but I'm not so sure you've really proven yourself, and maybe a little green or with envy, or don't get me wrong now, I'm not trying to insult you.
I'm willing to, prove myself at any time. If you want to do more than just talk, I'm willing to get in the ring. We can settle this thing right now.
You're willing to get in the ring right now with me? Will you see what
and he's in the ring already.
Well, you would want to get in the ring with me right now. Well, you see now, that's fine and dandy, but then again, that's the difference, Mr. Brisco. You go ahead and get in the ring, but you see, you have everything to prove, and I have nothing to prove, Mr. Brisco. I am the champion, so you go ahead and work your way up to the ranks. I have utmost respect for you. You are great. You're no Roddy Piper, but then again, who is, huh?
Piper would also be getting a reputation for strapping people with his belt in Georgia on national TV after incidents with Bob Armstrong and Tommy Rich.
You see, when Roddy Piper, RP wants to do something, Roddy Piper does something. All these big wigs come up here, Wahoo McDaniels, Don Morocco, Jake the Snake, the Mulligans, they all came, tried to play with Roddy Piper. What happened? They all sniveled away and crawled. And so what happened? Tommy Rich jumps in the phone booth, puts on the Superman cape and says, me, I will take Roddy Piper. But what happened on national TV? I took a belt and watched Tommy Rich, and I smacked him, and I smacked him, and I smacked him again, because nobody plays with me ever in the whole history. But then again, while I'm laughing and he's crying, he's looking up and says, please, Mr. Piper, don't give me no more. I says, but sir, I'm not finished, you see, because you'll find out that Roddy Piper truly is a masterpiece.
I just want to come out and make a few comments about the VTR we're fixing to see, and especially Roddy Piper. You're going to see a good cause for why a man should be upset as he is.
If you want to make a few comments about me, well then why don't you just make them to my face?
Make them to your face right now. I tell you, you got some people awful mad, especially with the kind of mouth you got, you make anybody mad.
Let me tell you something. Wait a second now, Mr. Brisco. No sense in getting upset. No, hey, just a second. Rich deserved everything he got. People play with me on national television. People play with me any place. I take a belt and I strap them down and I make them mean what I want them to mean.
You made him mean all right, and he's going to show you when he gets his hands on you just how mean he is.
Roddy Piper's beat everybody. Roddy Piper's everybody wanted to beat, Mr. Brisco. And nothing against you. Don't get all upset, because I know it must be a thrill and just little shivers just standing beside me. But I can realize, Mr. Jack Brisco, that you're not me, and that make you just a little jealous. So you go ahead.
That makes me just very happy because, you took a belt off and strapped that young man, strapped him. But listen, if anybody needs a strap and a belt whipping, it's you, Roddy Piper.
Yeah, and you'd like to do that, wouldn't you?
I'd love to, anytime, anywhere. Matter of fact, why don't we just get in the ring and do it right now?
You know why? Because I got nothing to prove, and you got everything to prove.
But maybe Jack Brisco would get to Piper's ego. In the middle of the spring of 1982, Jack Brisco would make a challenge to Piper for his Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Championship.